Donna's retreat. Donna liked going out walking with the dogs. On sunny days, she was happy to be pulled along the road, and she'd worked out a way of holding all their leads at the same time without tying herself and the dogs in knots. People looked at her as she walked along. They admired the dogs, and sometimes they stopped her and asked her questions. Donna wasn't too happy when that happened. She found it hard to chat to anyone she didn't know very well. But after a bit, she realised that the people who asked about the dogs were really interested in them, and then she didn't mind saying their names. That's Russell, then there's Tinker, Taylor, and Bradman and Millie, she'd say, pointing at each dog as she spoke. Lovely, was what people usually said. But once or twice they made a shocked face and said, Goodness, you've got your hands full, and no mistake. Donna hadn't always been a dog walker for the local kennels. Before it was closed down, she used to work in the local library, and she'd loved that. There was something comforting about the quiet atmosphere, and the sight of the books lined up neatly on the shelves made her feel good, relaxed and calm, and also excited, because they were full of wonderful stories which took her to other worlds. Every time Donna opened a book, she asked herself, where am I going to end up? What's going to happen? She loved finding out. She loved having dangerous adventures, which were also safe because they were in her head. She could become a brave heroine while the story lasted, and when one was finished, there were always others. But in the summer, it was good to be outdoors. Donna loved animals much more than people. They weren't as confusing as people, saying one thing and meaning the opposite. She loved the hedgehog that came to the garden to drink the milk she put out for him. She even liked the squirrels that darted down and took the birdseed that Mum put out. Mum called them rats with bushy tails, but Donna liked their tufty ears and the way they ran up and down trees like little furry gymnasts. And the animal she loved better than all the others put together was Star. She'd found the little cat looking starved and miserable and drinking water out of the toilet in the garage near her house. She was scraggy and skinny, and when she meowed, the sound came out thin and squeaky, as if she'd worn out her voice trying to get someone's attention. Donna had picked her up and tucked her into a gap between her coat and her jumper, and Star had settled there at once, as if she'd just been waiting for Donna to come along and find her. Mum and Dad had sighed and said, Oh, Lord, Donna, do you have to bring home any creature you find which needs rescuing? And Donna wasn't sure how to answer them, but the truth was, yes, she did have to rescue anything small and hurt that she happened to find. Once she had 3 different little birds living in 3 different shoeboxes in her bedroom, until they all made a miraculous recovery on the same day, and Mum had found them flapping frantically and throwing themselves at the closed window, shedding feathers and droppings. Just in case Mum was remembering this incident, Donna quickly reminded them about the story they'd once told her about the tortoiseshell cat being a gift from a goddess, guaranteed to bring good luck to the household she settled in. Then Donna held her breath. After a pause, Mum's and Dad's frowns turned into smiles, and from that day, Star had been Donna's special friend. Star was hers, and would always be hers. She didn't look starved and miserable now. She was a sleek tortoiseshell with a caramel and chocolate speckled face and radiant green eyes. Her eyes had always been bright, even when she was a skinny, scrawny creature, and that was why Donna called her Star. Donna's best friend was called Swampy. They often played Minecraft together, and Swampy was such an expert that he had his own YouTube channel where he gave tutorials and chatted to other players. Today she was meeting him in the park where they used to play when they were children. The dogs pulled her along, and as soon as they saw the ducks and swans by the pond, they pulled even harder. Donna held tight to the leads as usual, but suddenly one of the dogs decided to leap into the pond after a terrified duck, and she was about to be tugged in too. There was Swampy, sitting on their bench near the pond. Calmly, he stood up and whistled in the way Donna wished she could do. Almost in mid-air, the dogs turned themselves around and headed straight for Swampy, dragging Donna from the edge of a wet disaster. Swampy had saved her, again. When Donna had composed herself and Swampy and the dogs had exchanged happy greetings, they walked together through the park. Swampy said, "Have you thought any more about the sleepover?" "Yeah," said Donna. She didn't like telling Swampy that she'd thought about the sleepover every day. Her problem was she was scared of being on her own, terrified of being away from what she knew and talking to people she didn't know. Mum and Dad had been trying to help. They knew she wanted to be able to live on her own one day. But it was torture when they made her ask for things in shops or sit next to someone on a bus. The time she'd accidentally knocked over a glass vase in a cafe had set her back to square one. Even though the cafe owner tried to be nice about it, Donna knew she was cross, really, and everyone had looked around when they heard the smash and, oh dear, she really didn't want to remember. Donna thought of the heroes and heroines in her fantasy books. A magic power, that was what she needed. The kind of magic power that would let her be calm and confident, and eventually to do what she really wanted to do, open an animal sanctuary. If she wanted to do something like that, she'd have to learn to manage on her own. Swampy knew all this. She'd talked to him about it often, and he was helping as much as he could. Now he said, "How about a sleepover, Donna? It would be fun. We'd watch some DVDs, have popcorn. I could order a pizza for us. You'd have your own room." "Oh, I'm not sure, Swampy," Donna said. "Not sure I'm ready." "Well, what about another day? You were in my house for 2 hours, and you had a burger with Megan in McDonald's last week. You told me. You were okay then, weren't you? Also, you're fine working at the kennels. You can do it, you know. Ask your mum and dad if you can come to mine for a sleepover. I'd look after you, and it would only be me, and you wouldn't have to meet anyone else, just me." "I'll think about it," said Donna. "I'll ask Star. I'll see what she says." Swampy laughed. "She can come too, you know. Would that make it better?" "Oh, yes, much better," Donna said. "But we'd have to make sure she couldn't get out and run away. Can we keep her locked in the house? I'd have to bring a litter tray." "That could go in the utility room, no problem. Yes, Star will be fine, and so will you." Swampy was fond of Star too. It was one of the things Donna liked about him. Now she said, "Okay, Ta, I'll ask Mum and Dad. Maybe next Saturday." On the day of the sleepover, Donna nearly pretended to be ill, just to get out of going to stay at Swampy's. What would she do if she got into a panic in the night? Would Star be safe and not run away? Mum and Dad had got the cat basket ready, and Donna had put what she needed into the small case she'd got for Christmas last year. What if she forgot something and then needed it when she was at Swampy's? How come her friends managed to live on their own with no problems and she couldn't? Or maybe she could. She would have to see how tonight went. Maybe it would be all right. As soon as she thought that, she also thought, maybe something will go wrong. On Sunday morning, Donna woke up early. It took her a few minutes to remember where she was. In Swampy's house. She could feel the weight of Star lying on her feet. Donna didn't want to disturb her, so she lay very still and thought about how kind Swampy had been to her last night. They'd played Minecraft and Pokemon and had a pizza delivered to the house, and she found she wasn't afraid or nervous at all. Everything would be better from now on, she thought. I'll move into my own place and I'll ask for help, and there will be people ready to help me. They'd made plans last night. They'd moved together into a cottage in Penwortham, with support for both of them. They'd open an animal sanctuary. That was Donna's dream. Now Donna scrambled out of bed, scooped up Star, and ran down to check that Swampy still shared that dream. Smiling at Star, she thought she'd better remind Mum and Dad that they were right. The tortoiseshell cat was a lucky omen after all.